A new trouble is brewing for President Putin and the Kremlin. An indigenous ballistic missile that can hit key Russian cities is taking shape in Ukraine. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky announced at a press conference that Ukraine has tried out its first ballistic missile manufactured by the country's defense industry. Zelensky said during the Ukraine 2024 forum, "Perhaps it's too early to talk about this, but I want to share this news with you. Ukraine has successfully tested its first ballistic missile." The president congratulated the Ukraine defense industry on the success of the project, but did not disclose any additional details about the new weapon, including what type of ballistic missile it is. As per Ukrainian media, the missile is named Hrim-2 or Thunder-2. A day earlier, Ukraine's Defense Minister Rustem Umerov stated that the country is preparing a response to Russian airstrikes using domestically produced weapons. Umerov emphasized, "This once again proves that to achieve victory, we need long-range capabilities and the lifting of restrictions on attacks on enemy military targets." In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how Ukraine's Hrim-2 ballistic missile could change the dynamics of war.
Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted VPN brands worldwide that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte, an industry-leading Big Four auditing firm. NordVPN provides an encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy by preventing external entry to your internet traffic, as well as enabling you to access content that's blocked based on geolocation. Best of all, with one NordVPN account, you can secure up to 6 devices at the same time. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive savings by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee.
In an interview with Novini Live, Mikhailo Podolyak, advisor to the head of the president's office, indicated that the missile is likely to have a range of 600 to 700 kilometers, or about 400 miles. A year earlier, in August 2023, President Zelensky revealed the successful use of Ukraine's long-range weaponry over a distance of 700 kilometers. By November, it was confirmed that this weapon was a missile, though whether it was a cruise or ballistic missile was not specified. In November 2023, the Armed Forces of Ukraine mentioned the status of the Hrim-2 for the first time during the war. Brigadier General Sergei Baranov, head of the Main Directorate of Missile Troops, Artillery, and Unmanned Systems of the General Staff, hinted at this development during a discussion on Armia FM. A mock-up of a ballistic missile launcher was presented at the Kyiv military parade in 2018. Since then, efforts have been made to secure funding to complete the project. Hrim-2 may be based on that, or it could be its completed new system. During this period, Russia closely monitored Ukraine's Hrim-2 program. The Russian Ministry of Defense even claimed to have made efforts to counteract the missile. This marks a significant advancement in Ukraine's defense industry as it works towards developing a response to Russia's ISKANDER-M missile system. The ISKANDER-M is a mobile, short-range, surface-to-surface ballistic missile system produced and deployed by Russia. It can carry 800 kilograms, or about 1,760 pounds, warhead, and has a range of 500 kilometers, or 310 miles. The Mach 7 ISKANDER-M missile takes only about 3.5 minutes to cover its full range. The missile has been hard to intercept and inflicted massive destruction on Ukraine. ISKANDER-M has decimated command and control centers, 2 ammunition stores, and even civilian infrastructure, like power stations. Western allies have supplied Ukraine with a significant amount of weaponry. Initially, these were primarily short-range arms, but later on medium and long-range weapons such as the U.S. Army TACMs and the Anglo-French Storm Shadow EG Scalp cruise missiles were also delivered. However, these long-range weapons come with restrictions. They're not meant to be used for strikes inside Russia. This has allowed Putin's forces to launch missiles from within Russian territory without the fear of retaliation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been urging the U.S. and European allies to lift these restrictions. This situation has propelled Ukraine to find homegrown alternatives. The new weapon may have been developed drawing on the experience gained from the work on the Sapsan project and the Neptune anti-ship missile. It's also possible that knowledge or technologies acquired from Western allies played a role in the creation of this new ballistic missile. While the development of such a weapon is undoubtedly a major achievement for Ukraine's defense ministry, it remains unclear if the nation can produce them in large quantities. It's interesting to note that the Russian Ministry of Defense had reported in March 2023 that Ukraine had used Hrim-2 missiles, which were intercepted by their air defense systems. At that time, a ministry spokesperson stated, "Today, a Hrim-2 ballistic missile and 3 HIMARS projectiles were intercepted in the Novoandriivka and Zeleny Hay areas." Ukraine has been resisting the Russian onslaught, and it has not been the cakewalk that many experts thought it would be when President Putin's forces started the so-called special military operation. Hrim-2 could greatly aid in this. Ballistic missiles are not easy to intercept since they travel high in the atmosphere and can come down at a steep angle. The successful test launch of a domestically produced ballistic missile represents a significant milestone for Ukraine's defense industry. This achievement highlights Ukraine's ability to design ballistic missiles, a crucial development amid ongoing Russian missile strikes on Ukrainian territory. This new capability could enable Ukraine to strike key targets deep within the Russian Federation, including Moscow, which lies just 600 to 700 kilometers from the border or front lines. Other critical targets within this range include the strategic aviation base Engels near Saratov, linked to Russian strategic bombers, and the Black Sea Fleet base in Novorossiysk, potentially even Sochi. So Hrim-2 could bring war to the Russian mainland.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.